Okay, good, perfect. Here we are. So we are doing our core essentials Pilates session today. So no equipment needed at all, just your mat or a comfortable surface to lie on. And we are focusing purely on the core. Now, obviously with Pilates, your abdominals should be switched on the whole time anyway, but these moves, we're not even going to have a squat in sight. So if you do any of my other classes, that just goes to show the focus of today. So let's just start by getting our positioning. So just bringing your feet underneath your hips. You can do the turning your toes out and hopping back in, or if you're more comfortable now with where they need to be, just line them up underneath your hips and your knees, and then spread those toes out, and then laying each toe back down onto your mat. Looking down, just drawing up through the knees, not locking out those kneecaps, but just drawing up a nice straight line coming through into your hips, all the way up your spine. We're going to roll those shoulders up towards your ears and then draw them down and back. Good stuff. Okay, from here we're going to come into our pelvic tilts. So remember, for this one, we're rocking back and forth, back and forth. That's exaggerated movement, but we're tilting our pelvis. If you've been doing these a few times now, you might feel as if that's a bit more of a natural action for you. You can rock a little bit further forwards and backwards. But I just want you coming forwards as point A, back is point C, and then stopping somewhere in the middle, point B. You can just check that you've got that neutral spine by bringing your thumbs and your forefingers together and making a diamond shape with the thumbs pointing up towards your belly button. You should be in a nice straight line down there. So if your hips are too far forwards, those fingers are going to point in, or those thumbs are going to tip forwards if your bottom's stuck out. So nice straight line, secure through the hips and the pelvis. This is your neutral spine. We want to wrap those abdominals around. So really think now about bracing those abdominals. Okay, I promise we're going to be working them today. As always, I'm going to give you lots of different variations and options so you can go with what works for you. But this is the tension. Imagine that someone's going to come up and throw a basketball or something at your stomach. That's the kind of tension you want to really brace through there. Okay, so you're not sucking anything in, but you're just strong. A couple of nice deep breaths for me now. So breathing in through the nose for 4. And then out through the mouth for 4. So we're just grounding ourselves a little bit here. Taking the time to just connect with the mat. If you want to bring your hands onto your rib cage just to feel that expansion and contraction, then do. So much of our tension is held through our shoulders and through our breathing. So we just want to relax that all down now. So your heart rate should be low, breathing steady, shoulders drawn down and back. Okay, bringing your hands just down by your side, relaxing them down there. You're going to tilt your chin down towards your chest. And then we're going to roll around. Lovely one, especially for those of you who are joining live. First thing in the morning. This is a gorgeous stretch to do. So just coming all the way around in one direction. And then all the way around in the other direction. Back down towards your chest. Before looking back up, lovely, roll those shoulders down and back again. Okay, so we're going to come into our warm-up now, a little bit of moves just to get the whole body warmed up. We're going to be doing most of the session down on the floor, so just make sure that you've got a comfortable surface, but let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to come into are those lovely torso bends. So hips stay forward for this. And we're just starting to wake up those abdominals. Don't worry too much for this first little set about how far you're coming down. This is the first movement you've done today. And then you're not going to be bending all the way down, but we just want to start waking up that area. So keep those abdominals strong. A little bit of fire through the glutes. They're your powerhouse. Good. For 2 and 1. Roll those shoulders back. We're coming over the top now and pulsing. So one arm stretches up and over, the other hand is dipping down your leg, and just a few little pulses here. Still keeping those hips facing forwards. And then you're switching sides. So keep those shoulders back. Don't be tempted to roll this shoulder forwards. That arm should be coming directly over your head as we pulse. Nice, nice one. For 2 and 1. And then we're back into those torso bends. You might find that you can float those arms down a little bit further down your legs this time. So just drawing that other shoulder and arm up slightly to help with the reach. 1 more on each side. 1 and 1. And then we're back overhead with those pulses. So your waist now should be starting to just feel a nice little stretch. It should feel like it's starting to work a little bit here. Switching sides. But don't forget to keep those abdominals braced the whole time. So even through our warm-up, they're in action. Okay, lovely. Back to center, rolling the shoulders back. You're going to bring the arms up, just up to shoulder height. We're drawing back and pulsing, so you're squeezing those shoulder blades together. Chest comes out. Again, hips are staying facing forwards. Your feet are still just hip width apart. So you're still maintaining that nice strong core and neutral spine as we pulse. Good. Keep smiling. It's a little bit of a burner, this one. For 2 and 1. Roll them back. Okay, coming back to that side level again, just at shoulder height. We're swooping across overhead now. Overhead, but keeping that arm out to the side rather than dropping it down. So you might start off and you might feel a little bit more flexible on one side than the other. Don't worry if you can't come all the way down to meet your other arm. At this stage, it will come with practice. But for this stage, we're just again focusing on that waist and warming those shoulders up. Good. 2 and 1. Float them down. Roll those shoulders back. Floating up out to the front again. Drawing back, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Imagine that you're cracking a nut in between those shoulder blades. Don't be tempted to push your hips forward on this one. Okay, I want you keeping that nice neutral spine that we found at the beginning and really bracing through the abdominals. Don't do this. Keep going. Good. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Palms of your hands are facing forwards for 2 and 1. Roll them up and back. Final one, they're coming up and out to the side again, and we're back over. Again, second time round, you might be able to come slightly further down towards that extended arm. Just do what's comfortable for you. Lovely. Good. Let's pretend it's a sun dance. We're trying to channel the sun coming back to us. Come on, guys. It's July. What's going on? Perfect. 1 more on each side. 1 and 1. And roll back. Okay, good stuff. Take a drink whenever you need to, okay? We've got a final little warm-up that I want us to do standing. That's going to be working those abdominals because we're going to be coming off balance. So I'm just going to turn to the side slightly. This is our standing Superman. So extending one leg behind you, opposite arm out in front of you, and we're just holding, okay? So as soon as we come off balance, our abdominals are having to kick in to keep us there. So find something to focus on and just come as far as you're comfortable with. If you can tip forwards even further, then do. If you're more at this angle, absolutely fine. Hold it here. Bring that foot down. We're going to swap sides. So leg comes out behind you, opposite arm, out in front, and you play around with the angles to see what works for you. Again, you might feel more wobbly on one side than the other. It's completely normal. Don't worry. Again, it will come with practice, but keep that abdominal area strong. Perfect. We're going to do one more on each side. So floating out. See if you can tip a little bit further forwards this time. Don't let gravity take over through the core. Hold it here. Focus on me. And I'll try not to wobble. Good stuff. And then changing sides once more again. So we do this move down on the mat sometimes, but absolutely you can do it standing up. The same principle applies. Hold it for 2 and 1. Good stuff. Roll those shoulders back. Find a little move to crunch out through the obliques. We're coming up and out to the side, up and out to the side. So if you can get your elbow and knee to meet, fantastic. If you can't, if you're only coming to this side, absolutely fine. Again, go with what works for you. Make sure that you're bringing those feet back underneath your hips. Perfect. Keep going. Should be feeling warmed up now. Fired up, ready for our work down on the mat. Couple more. Let's do 2 more on each side. So we're going 1 and 1, 2 and 2. Feet back in position. Roll those shoulders back. Take a quick drink if you need to. And then we're going to be coming into our mat. We're going to do a couple of roll downs just to get there, okay? So rolling through the shoulders, grazing your hands down your leg. We're coming all the way down, or as low as you're comfortable with. So if this is your stopping point, just stop here. If you can bring those fingers down to the floor, then do. Just letting our arms dangle wherever you are. And then drawing that core in as you roll back up. Slowly, slowly. Vertebrae by vertebrae, peeling away. Shoulder roll at the top. And then coming forward. So it's a nice fluid movement, this one. We're not holding in any one position for too long. Let those arms dangle down. Keep that neck long and in line with your spine. And then rolling back up again. So you're literally peeling away. Good. Shoulder roll at the top. We're going one more time. All the way down. Bend your knees if you need to a little bit here, okay, to bring yourself down. And then I just want you walking your hands forward and pedaling those feet through. So your bottom and your hips are staying high in the air. You can come down onto either your fists or your wrists, depending on what's comfortable for you. We're pedaling those feet through, so you get that lovely calf stretch. Good. Keep going here for 2 and 1. And then you're going to walk your hands forward a little bit further, sink to your knees, push your bottom back onto your heels, and we're going to come into that lovely recovery child's pose. So stretch those fingers out in front of you. You can bring your forehead down onto the mat. I'm just going to move my screen slightly because we're going to stay down on the floor now. So if you guys need to do the same, then please do. If not, just stay in that lovely child's pose. Okay. And then when you're ready, you're going to push back up onto all fours. Again, bracing through the abdominals. Just check that your hips are in line with your knees and your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Now, when I do this one, let me turn my map slightly. When I come into this position, I find that the crook of my elbow tends to point forwards because I've got a bit of hypermobility in my elbows. So what I want is the crook of your elbows facing inwards. So for me, I need to turn my hands in to kind of 10 to 2 position. means that weight is coming through the muscles rather than the joints. So just move your hands into whatever position they need to be in, so that your elbows, the crooks of your elbows are facing in. And then just as we did on the floor, we're going to come straight in with our Supermen. So you're either holding, I'm going to give you some different options here, okay? You're either extending and holding. Again, you'll find that the balance comes into play, possibly one side more than the other. If you're quite comfortable with your holds, then you're going to extend, hold, and you're going to bring the leg out to the side, tap the toe down, back to center and up. So extend to the side, tap, center, and up. So you're getting a little bit of glute work in there as well. All the time, those muscles are firing up, or you're just holding for a couple of minutes, not a couple of minutes, a couple of moments, and alternating. Just making sure that when you come back in again, that your knees come underneath your hips and your elbows stay facing each other, the insides of the elbows, obviously. So either alternating or extend out to the side, tap, back to center, and up. If you're doing that one, you might want to stay on the same side to save keeping on alternating. But you should really start to feel those muscles through the abdominals firing up. Good. So keep going with a few of these. Just make sure that you're breathing nice and deeply again. Breathing will really support that abdominal work. Okay, one more on each side. If you're alternating, and if you're adding in those extensions, just finish this little set. And then we're coming back in and back down into our recovery. So bottom back to heel. Doesn't matter if it doesn't get all the way down. Extend forward into your child's pose. Really reach those fingers as far forwards as you can so you get that lovely stretch through your shoulders. And then we're going to come down to laying down onto our mats now. So just coming down flat onto your mat. I will give you variation if you're not comfortable in this position, but if you are, you're just going to extend your arms all the way out in front of you, legs all the way behind, and we're going to come into some swim legs. So I'm turning so that I can look at the camera, but I want you keeping your neck in line with your spine. So keep that neck long and just look down towards your mat. And all you're doing is lifting those legs up and paddling. Okay, so a couple of variations here. You can keep going just like this. You can turn your toes in, so your toes are facing each other. You'll feel it slightly differently through the glutes. Or if you want to, you can bring your chest up off the floor, still keeping that leg long, that neck long, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and you can either just hold it here or you can come up and down. This is a nice lengthening move. It's important that we lengthen out through our abdominals as well as the movements that kind of restrict and contract them. So keep those legs going. If you're not comfortable down on your chest, then you can do this as a leg pulse up on all fours. Obviously, you can only do one leg at a time. So go with what works for you. We're going for 3 and 2 and 1. Lovely. Pushing back up onto all fours and then coming around onto your side next. So that's a really nice one for strengthening the lower back, but also lengthening out through the abdominals. So we're literally coming over onto our side and then rolling across onto our backs here. So just taking a moment to get comfortable because we're going to be down on this mat for a little while. So just check that your hips are in line, knees are bent, feet are connected with the mat, so toes and heels are both connected. I don't mind how far apart you have your feet, okay? Go with what's comfortable for you. And just keep that neutral spine. So you might have a little bit of a gap underneath your mat, between your spine and the floor. If that's your neutral spine, that's fine for you. Just don't imprint and squeeze your mat and spine together, because then your pelvis tilts up. So just take a second to go with what works for you. Hands are just going to relax down by your side, and then you're going to lift one knee up and then the other knee up. Okay, so your knees are now directly over your hip bones. And from here, we're just going to come into some toe taps. Tons of variation for you here. So option one, you're just alternating legs, tapping the toe down quite close to your bottom, okay? So again, you'll start to feel this through the lower half of your abdominals, your core, and you're just tapping down. If this feels okay to you, then you can extend the reach. So tap those legs away further, or it may be your heel that comes down and makes contact with the floor. Doesn't matter which it is, whatever cuts comfortable for you. Just make sure that when you come back, you're not tempted to bring those knees back in over your hip joints. You can just bring your palms of your hands up in front and just check that they're not bashing into them. Good. So this is one of those moves that you start off with going, yeah, this is fine. And you soon start to feel it. So you can go slowly. You don't need to rush through these. And as I said, play around with where feels good for you. If you want to bring your hands onto your abdominals to just feel them working, if you can't feel the connection, then you absolutely will. If you've got any kind of stomach gap or lower back issues, then you want to be tapping quite close to your body as you drop your heels down, okay? If your core is fine, if you're fully recovered, that's when you can extend. But there shouldn't be any kind of doming or pulling sensation through the abdominals. So just go with what works for you. Lovely. For 2 and 1, bring those knees into the chest, just to hug it out for a second here. It is an intensive move if you do it for any length of time, that one, but it's a great one. So hold them in here. Okay, coming back, we're staying with these. Okay, if you need to drop one leg down and have one on the floor as a support, you can. This time I want you tapping out to the side though, okay? So instead of dropping down in front of us, we're going to tap out to the side and just notice where you feel the difference. You should feel that more through the side of your glute as well as the core. So you're tapping out towards the corner of the room, either with that foot on the floor as support, or if you're comfortable keeping it off, then absolutely keep it off. Again, you'll feel a difference in how those muscles are working. And keep going. Stay on the same side, we're not going to alternate here. So you should be feeling this one now. It's a good feeling though. We like to feel those core muscles working, to know that we've still got them. So keep going. For 3 and 2 and 1. Good stuff. Drop those feet back down if you need a little recovery, or bring them into your chest if you need to, just before we switch to the next side. So remember, you can have one foot on the floor if you want to, tapping out to the corner of the room, or you can bring that other leg with the knee positioned over the hip. Don't tuck it too far into your body. Good. So out to the corner, either with your toe or your heel tapping down, whatever works for you. Good. We're going for 5 and 4, 3 and 2. Final one. Good stuff. Hug those legs in. Okay, do take a drink if you need to in between little sets. We're going to drop those legs back down to the floor now. Okay, stretching them out in a straight line. Again, as you do this, just make sure that your pelvis doesn't tilt forwards too much, so keep that neutral spine. Take a second here. A couple of options again that I'm going to give to you. This time we're going into scissor legs. So for our scissor legs, you can do it with knees bent, okay, as option number one. And we're just coming up and down, up and down. Knees bent is slightly easier. Again, if there's any tugging, just do it on the one side and rest the other foot down. Okay, option number two, if you want to progress the move, if you're comfortable, straight legs, straight legs. So again, you'll feel the difference through your core. Go with what works for you. Just keep those hands rested down by your side. And don't forget to breathe. Nice deep breathing through all of these moves. Keep going. Good. Abdominals are really firing up now. Whew. We're going for 5 and 4, 3, 2 and 1. Relax those legs back down or bring them in, whichever is more comfortable for you. Good stuff. I know that you're feeling it now. Take just a second here to recover, and then you're flipping over, rolling onto your side and pushing back up. So we're coming up to sitting now. Sitting up nice and tall. So nice lengthening through the spine, sitting back onto the cushions of your bottom. Roll the shoulders back and drop them down. We're going to be coming into some rollbacks now that those abdominals are really fired up. So again, lots of variations for you here. You can literally just roll through and come to this point and come back up again. So a very small little C shape being formed at the base of your spine. If you're more comfortable and your abdominals are stronger, then you're going to come further back. So again, go with what works for you. Just keeping your arms held out in front of you to begin with. Turn this way, rolling back and up. So you're really trying to make that C shape with your spine. It's not a solid movement where we're just doing this, we're curling, but only to the point that you're comfortable with. Okay, good. We're going to start adding in some arm extensions now. So we're down, and then as we come back up, we're opening up those arms. Back down, drop, up, and extend. How good does that feel? So you're curling down, arms come up, extend. As you do so, make sure that you're sitting up as tall as you can. Lovely. Excuse me. Keep going with these. Such a nice one. Lovely. A couple more with these arm extensions, arm openers. For 1 and 2. If you want to come and lean forwards just to get that stretch through the spine, then please do. Hold it here for a second. Next, we're going to be coming into our bow and arrows. So for this one, the elbow is dropping down to the mat, so arms are extended. You're pulling back that bow. You can either stop here, or you can come all the way down and back up. Let's change sides. So dropping that elbow down to whichever level is comfortable for you. So we've got a little bit of rotation coming in now. Same move as our rollbacks, but with a little rotation. Make sure that you're looking in the direction of the elbow that's dropping down. Lovely. Good stuff. Keep going. So again, if that's your stopping point, just stay there, it's absolutely fine. No need to push yourself or push your body more than it's comfortable with. Again, it's one of these moves that the more you do, the more you'll get used to. Keeping going. We're going to do 2 more on each side, so that was 1 and 1. Last little set, 2 and 2. Lovely, stretching forwards if you want to. Just to roll out through the base of that spine. How are you feeling? Abdominals definitely fired up. Okay, coming back up to sitting. Legs are still extended out in front of you. We're going to finish with some little spinal rotations. So you're going to bring your arms one on top of the other, doesn't matter which one's on top to start off with, like a Cossack dancer, and we're twisting. Centre, twisting, good. So you're staying up nice and tall for this one. And we're just finishing off with some twists. This one's fine to do if you have got any stomach muscle separation, okay? A little bit of a twist is absolutely fine. Not coming too far, but stay sitting up tall, keep those abdominals braced. Okay, once more of this, 1 and 1, and I want you bringing the opposite arm on top, okay? And we're still twisting. It just helps to keep those balance nice through our shoulders so that one side isn't always the side to come on top and come down. Good. This should feel like a nice move to finish off with. Lovely stuff. We're going once more on each side. 1 and 1. Come forwards if you want to. Just stretch it out here. I tell you what, I've got a sweat on just from doing these lovely slow controlled moves. So we're going to be coming into our stretches now. Okay, so the first one I want you doing is bringing the soles of your feet together. Knees come out to the side, and now you can either lean forwards, pressing your elbows into the crooks of your knees, or you can bring your hands underneath your legs and come forwards that way. So just hold your stretch here in whichever position feels better to you. Such a nice one. Good. A couple of nice deep breaths here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Oh, lovely. Okay, coming up, bringing the knees out in front of you. So both knees are facing forwards. I've got my foot this way that's pointing out to the side, the other one that's in. We're going to come into these lovely rainbow mermaid swings, a nice one, just as we did as we were standing up at the start of our warm-up, and we were working on stretching out, warming up that way. So now we're doing the same thing, but stretching it out. Again, you might feel you can come further down on one side than the other. Just go with what works for you. It's a nice fluid movement, this one. I don't want to send you off to sleep at 8 o'clock in the morning, switching legs. So again, round to the other side, sitting up nice and tall, hand comes down on one side, up and over. That feels good. Or again, you might feel it on one side more than the other, especially if you're a mum that carries a baby around the whole time. We tend to throw our posture off completely. Our hip comes out on one side, our shoulder drops down on the other. This is a really lovely one to do. For 1 and 1, good stuff. Now coming around just to sit however's comfortable. Okay, you can rest your hands just on your knees, you can have your palms open if you want to. We're going to come back into those lovely neck rotations, which was the very first move we did. And close your eyes if you want to here. All the way around in one direction and then in the other direction. Lovely, looking forwards, rolling those shoulders back, and we are done. Virtual high five to you, team. That was your core essentials Pilates moves done. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel fired up for whatever time of day you've done it. Nice work. I'll see you all soon.